thumbs up. Arm your quads. Live on the tone in less than 5. I love when we can sneak in those OSDs and get a little precursor to who the big teams are. And once again, I'm looking back at the takeoff line for Team Velocidrone. Jay Fern trying to get off the line. He's got issues once again. That's been something that's been plaguing Team Velocidrone. They're third over in qualifying now, fourth in traffic as we get ready to look at your leaders. Your leaders are Red River FPV, then Torque, then Don't Mess With Texas in third. Not what we were expecting there. Don't Mess With Texas were the first ones off the line. Had a little bit of an issue, I guess, on that opening lap. And so for the next 29 and a half minutes, we're chasing Red River FPV, making a statement. Your leaders are about to go left to right onto lap number 3 with those turquoise props off to our right-hand side. That's Red River FPV on lap 3. Right behind him is Torque with the yellowish-green props. Then we have a mix of props with Don't Mess With Texas in the number 3 spot, and Team Velocidrone now about to catch up. They're hopefully going to get through our gate and on to lap number 4. No, they just crashed out, so we just lost Velocidrone, not the start that they were looking for. And now it's Red River Torque, Don't Mess With Texas, 1, 2, 3 after lap number 1. Now the teams are all sharing their own channels. Every one of them, the team is assigned a frequency that is exclusive to their team. So when a drone crashes out, they must remotely power off the video transmitter or hope the battery ejects and it stops broadcasting, or they must bring it in and physically unplug it. That is one of the downfalls of FPV racing or drone racing, is we're locked to these certain channels. Also, if you get crashed out, you're not allowed to walk out onto the field. You have to remotely flip your drone. There are certain ways of doing that we'll get into, but at this point, it is just all about full throttle, wide open racing, and Red River FPV already on your second pilot with the orange props, now off to the right, working on lap number 6 with a lap lead over Don't Mess With Texas and Torque. Our two drones almost right together here, going on to lap number 5, 1 lap back off of our leaders, and Velocidrone able to make up some of their shortcomings here in the early throws of the game. They're working on lap number 4, Red River FPV going on to lap number 6 now, or 7, as they go off to the right. Don't Mess With Texas with the fluorescent props again, running second in traffic, 1 lap back off of our leaders as we're 2.5 minutes in, 27.5 minutes to go. So just like what you'd see in NASCAR, there's a lot of similarities as with NASCAR. This is NAS Quad or NAS Drone. We have pit stops. That's going to be a big part of it. Drones will only fly for 1.5 minutes to 2.5 minutes under race conditions. So to go for a full 30 minutes, we need to have these pit stops. It's kind of like an enduro relay for that to happen. So a lot of teamwork, making the dream work a reality when they come into pit. We're just at the 3-minute mark, and all of our teams except one on pilot number 2. So we're going to start to see a couple more pit stops here as in we go with your leaders, Red River FPV, 1 down. Now their next drone takes off with the orange and purple props off to our right-hand side. Now with only half a lap ahead, Don't Mess With Texas. Don't Mess With Texas will be due for another pit stop here momentarily, but they're only 10.9 seconds back. That's less than half a lap back now from our leaders, Red River FPV. Remember, Red River FPV qualified in the number 2 spot overall. Don't Mess With Texas were our top qualifiers, and now Don't Mess With Texas with a crash and launching another pilot out. So this will be some storyline to follow to the very end of this race right here. Coming up on the 4-minute mark, 26 minutes still to go on the master race clock. The pilots are actually flying with the feed that is coming off the camera on the front of their drone. It is broadcast back on the 5.8 band, same as what you'd have with your access point or your router. It goes back to the receiver and is displayed on the panels inside their Fat Shark goggles. Here comes second place. Oh, that's third place Torque coming into pit, and pit stop underway. Green props go up. They go on to lap 9, just 1 lap back off of Red River and Don't Mess With Texas in the lead. That feed comes back, and it's exact same, almost real time as that camera broadcast. We use analog video for 480p. Most of your televisions are 4K or 1080p. Think of really terrible video back in the old days of the rabbit ears on a television. That is the quality of the signal that is broadcast back. The reason being, once you add digital features, you add that degree of latency. And when you're pounding these drones through this course, this 3D course at upwards of 80 miles an hour, you cannot have the latency work against you. As we do drone racing, imagine what we would do with drone delivery as we come up at a critical mark. 5 minutes in, 25 minutes still to go. Don't Mess with Texas has taken the lead ahead of Red River FPV. Red River coming into pit. And they get back up. Here come your leaders. Don't Mess with Texas into pits. Don't Mess with Texas now with a half a lap lead as they put their new quad back up. That switch up happening on lap 13, I believe. Don't Mess with Texas sliding up into the number 1 spot. Your leaders are at the split S on the back wall out by the old concrete stage. Going through our start-finish gates, and with the green and purple props, I believe, going from left to right onto lap number 16. With a 21-second lead over Red River FPV, working on lap number 15, who is a minute ahead, or 2 laps ahead of Torque in third, who is 20 seconds ahead of Team Velocidrone, who's down in fourth. Red River and Torque crossing over the exact same time. Don't Mess with Texas crossing over fourth in traffic, but still with that just over a lap lead over second. Now we're starting to space things out. Only 1 craft in the air. That is Don't Mess with Texas. That is our leader. And now posting some 19-second lap times. Their previous pilot was McGap, who posted a 16-1 on lap number 13. That is our new fastest lap on the track. Before this championship is over, we're going to probably see another track record. We just set it 4 laps ago with Don't Mess with Texas and McGap with that 16-136. We could be in the 15s. Questions coming in. Can your arm switch turn off the video transmitter or put it in pit mode? There are several different ways of turning off that video transmitter. New technology. Racing has bred a whole new innovation. And, yeah, we can do it remotely with your arm switch. There are different ways of doing it with pit, lap pit or real pit. As speaking of real pit, our leaders coming into pit. Don't Mess with Texas coming in on lap number 21, launching a new pilot. Looks like NM Grower going to take off for Don't Mess with Texas. He visited with all the pilots before the event, giving us all kinds of treats, some squares and cookies, and very hospitable and accommodating. Now trying to earn some prize money up the top of the board in this top qualifying Don't Mess with Texas team that is holding a 4-lap lead now over Red River FPV, who's dropped down to the number 2 spot. We have a little bit of separation. We are 3 laps between first and second, 2 laps between second and third, and 3 laps between third and fourth. And we're not even at the midway points. This is a 30-minute main. Our practice sessions and our qualifying sessions are only 20 minutes in duration. And we still have 21 and a half minutes still to go here on the master race clock. They're cheering on Delta in the chat on Facebook as well. Say hello to David Mills, Sean Dolan, Andy Stankiewicz, Devin Stevens, Corey Mano, Nothix, Lundy FPV, and more watching the Battle at the Fairgrounds Team Racing Edition on Saturday. Red River FPV coming into pits. 1 down. The next one maybe up. Pretty decent pit stop. Sharing those channels in and out. Great shot on our live stream of pit row on the bottom left-hand side. You can see the pit boxes. Watching right now your leaders Don't Mess with Texas go around our start-finish gates. Coming from our left to right. And on to lap number 26. We'll take them. Coming up on big time marker here. We're almost 10 minutes in with another 20 minutes still to go. You're going to start to see some relaxing by our pilots here. Just at this point, it is a marathon. It's not. It's definitely not a race. It is a marathon here at Team Racing. Traditional team racing or drone racing got its start here in America in about 2015. The popularity booms with quad racing, quadcopter racing, or multi-rotor racing, FPV racing. It has many names, but drone racing is a game. And from there, big thing, of course, individual racing. And the drone's only able to fly for 2.5 minutes, pretty much, at the most, under race conditions. But this Enduro format, which also made its debut in its initial form, the late part of 2015, we got a caution called. We're under caution. And that will cost, don't mess with Texas. Lap number 28 is gone. Caution called before they crossed over. So we are now under caution for 2 minutes. Caution means clock has stopped, lap count ceases, and now we go retrieve the pieces. Everyone's sliding out. Which team called the caution? Texas? It was Texas. Who did? Was it Velocidrone? Velocidrone? All right. They're getting gun shy on who it was. Team Velocidrone will be charged the first caution and only caution here in this championship. Now, every team is allowed to call one caution. That is a 2-minute break. Everyone lands. We go out and retrieve all the drones. Oh, no, don't mess with Texas is in Lake Scott. How did you end up in Lake Scott? Oh, man. Ground and split S and into Lake Scott. That's what happened to Scott as well? You still have 45 seconds if you want to go get it. You're good? You're good? Lake Scott is the water on the other side of the fence. It's not for swimming. It's not for drinking. It's not even for looking at. I'm probably going to get in trouble for mentioning it there as part of the treatment. No, it's okay. I know I'm not in trouble yet. We still have another 19 minutes, 40 seconds. The day's still young. All right. But once a drone goes in there, it is gone. It is with other things that people want to forget that are inside that lake. Scott was one of the first to lose it in there, and now NM Grower from Don't Mess with Texas, he is in there. We're gridding up, coming up. Now, can't call it Lake Texas. That would be wrong, I think. I don't think we can do that. We have full video so far, just video on Red River FPV. That's our 2 minutes. I want to go green in about 15. I got video from Don't Mess with Texas, Red River. And countdown starting now from 20, 19, 18, 17. Sometimes in my position, I feel like my mother. Don't make me count. 10, 9, 8. Not bad. 2-minute caution. 3 minutes on the clock. I like your style. All right, pilots. Goggles down, thumbs up. Rearm your quads. Launching on my go in less than 5. Go. Kumo Kraft saying, bailing is a skill. Nice job, Grower. I don't know if he meant to bail out into Lake Scott, Texas, ouch. But we're racing back under the clock, 10.5 minutes in, 19.5 minutes still on that master race clock. Looked like we had some issues for Red River FPV. Now launching, I think, second drone. Not sure what is happening up there in that top left-hand corner of our FPV feed. I'm watching, I see a telltale sign of multiple quads or drones powered up at the exact same time, but now they're underway. Great shot right there. Red River FPV, their first-person view of the huge Ferris wheel in the background. That's a great shot as they come out of the pits or they come from the start-finish gate, just as that sun is starting to set down as well. It's just too bad it's in that 480 video, but huge opportunity for us to race drones here at the Greater Baton Rouge State Fair. Great shots on the FPV view. And if you haven't had a chance to slide over our shoulders and look at the first-person view right on those screens, that is set up for you so you can see what the pilots are seeing. And right now I'm looking at still Red River FPV in the number 2 spot, 6 laps back. But I don't know if it's getting dark and it's getting blurry. There's something a little funky with Red River FPV, but they're flying through the pain. As now, for the last 15, 16 laps or so, Don't Mess With Texas has been flying away with it, as it were, with a 6-lap lead. But now as I look down to second, third, it is turning into a tighter battle between Torque and Red River FPV. Now, earlier today in practice and qualifying, you didn't want to be 5th. You wouldn't make the main. Now that we're in the main, you don't want to be last because there's no cash for 4th. It is a battle for the 2-3 between Torque and Red River FPV. Torque now in the pits with a little bit of a longer pit stop. All kinds of static on their screen. Now going to slowly nurse their way up. And, well, they got to find about 22 seconds. So they're going to find Red River FPV running second. Red River with the blue props. Now, they're going to be third in traffic. So as long as they keep the mixed up props, I think they're blue and orange, of Red River FPV just in front of them, that'll be a good sign because obviously they would be 22 to 2 laps to a good. Here with lots of time still on the clock, about 13 minutes in, 17 minutes still to go. Don't Mess With Texas are your leaders. Green props going from our left to right, and still with a 6-lap lead, almost 7-lap lead here over second. Red River's in second, working on lap number 29. Torque is in third, working on lap number 27. And don't count out Team Velocidrone. They're in fourth at the moment. They are just 2 laps back off of Torque, who are up in the number 3 spot. So a little separation once again. But lots of time on the clock here in practice and qualifying. This is pretty much when we just started to warm up. Now we're stuck in a gate with Red River FPV, a dangler. And he just powered off, so it's going to be kind of hard to figure out which gate he is in, but it's the one with a drone in it. Yeah, we've only had one. Yeah, buddy. Coming up with another 16 minutes and just a wee bit to go. We say hello to Hefte checking out the live stream as well. Broadcasting all over the world at LiveFPV.com's Facebook page. Also on the YouTube channel, MultiGP, and at mgp.livefpv.com. They get to see the first-person view 4-way. See all the stats and commentary, and our leaders on their lid. Don't Mess With Texas going down into the long grass. That's NM Grower. Now he's going to try and recover remotely, flipping himself over, so battery down, pretty side down. And back up he goes. So a little bit of a mistake on lap 39, but he's back up, not going to lose much time, and definitely not another quad. He is the pilot that already put one into Lake Scott on the far side, and he's coming into pit. Down he goes. Power up your next pilot. And there goes with the light green and orange canopy. Don't Mess With Texas back to the skies again to keep holding on this lead. Now a 7-lap lead as we're just at the midway point. 15 minutes in, 15 minutes still to go. Running order top to bottom. Don't Mess With Texas working on lap number 40. Red River FPV working on lap 33. Torque is working on lap 31. And Team Velocidrone on lap 29. And Red River FPV once again with issues. And back up we go on lap 34. It's now still a 7-lap deficit between first and second. Don't Mess With Texas. Not only is that team's handle a statement, but they're living up to it as your top qualifiers, and now your leaders by 7, almost 8 laps now at the midway points here this championship. Red River FPV and Torque crossing over almost together. They're separated by 2 laps, so that's that battle for the 2-3 for podium position. Team Velocidrone still in fourth, and Velocidrone is with those blue LEDs. They're in fourth. They got to start passing some quads as they go from left to right. They're 2 laps back from third, and it pay off with about 14 minutes still to go. Don't Mess With Texas on to lap number 44. Once again with the light-colored props, light blue with the orange canopy. Now making a pass, 1, 2, 3, up ahead of the field. as you watch them go around through that split S section. Don't Mess with Texas just passed 2 quads and now is well out in the lead again, lapping them up. Remember that lead that was just a 7-lap lead, now an 8-lap lead. Don't Mess with Texas on lap number 45 here with lots of time left on the clock for the rest of the field to try and do some damage. We got an 8-lap deficit between first and second, 2 laps between second and third, and 3 laps between third and fourth. In come Torque for a pit stop, and I think Team Velocidrone in for a pit stop as well, which is interesting as they're in that third-fourth battle. But Torque with a long pit stop, and Velocidrone's pilot goes up with a quad that is in a bad situation. He's just trying to get it focused back to come back into rolling through what is a puddle, which you can't see from here. And now Team Velocidrone down. They're going to try and power it off remotely. Looks like he was able to do that. Now we'll launch a new one for Velocidrone. Torque was in and had a terrible pit stop, and that was Velocidrone's opportunity to make up some ground, and unfortunately crashing out, and that was due to something bad on the quadcopter, on the drone. That the video was terrible, and pilot couldn't even get his bearings as he crashes out. Looks like still with green LEDs on. The quad is powered on, the drone is powered on, but the video is not broadcasting from it. Now we launch a new quad, new pilot, and we try and get by the rest of the field and see if we can get up into. We're going to have to pass some drones, make some laps if we're going to hit our podium, because right now Team Velocidrone down by 5 laps from third in the number 4 spot. Still with an 8-lap lead, Don't Mess with Texas, your leaders. You're about to watch them go to that back wall around that split S. Again, with making that pass on that back straightaway. Don't Mess with Texas, absolutely killing it right now. I think it's Lehman up in the air for them, an 18.7, followed by an 18.8. Flying consistent, flying smooth. We've got a whole bunch of people from Texas here watching on Facebook. David Mills says, Don't Mess with Texas, going to be the team to beat with Ivan and Mark flying. Yeah, don't forget about the rest of the team. They've been killing it as well. And Lundy FPV asking how his boy Boudin Ball's team is doing. Well, that's still Don't Mess with Texas. They're killing it right now. Just with 19 minutes in, 11 minutes, just under 11 minutes left on that master race clock. And now still with a little bit of separation. It's a 8-lap deficit. First to second, 4-lap deficit second to third, and a 5-lap deficit from third into fourth. But anything can happen as we come up here on the 2/3 mark of the Battle of the Fairgrounds here at the 2018 Greater Baton Rouge State Fair. Team Racing Edition on Saturday. Tomorrow, it's individual racing all day. It'll be a fun day. But here we are, coming up in 3, 2, 1. 20 minutes in, 10 minutes still to go. Don't Mess with Texas, your leaders on lap number 54. Red River FPV just crossed on to lap 46. Torque is on lap 41, and Team Velocidrone just crossed onto lap number 37. Don't Mess with Texas in the pits and about to launch another one. With just under 10 minutes still to go here on that master race clock. It came to race drones and eat deep fried food, and we're almost out of drones. Going down to the final throws here, you're going to see some quadcopters limping across that line, but pretty much not with the top right-hand corner of our screen with Don't Mess with Texas, who has... They weren't our leaders. In fact, I don't even think they got... I think they had the whole shot, then they were passed to the opener. And for the first 16, 17 laps, it was all Red River. And Red River was able to hold them off until we got about 3 minutes in. And since then, lap 17 through 55 now, Don't Mess with Texas has been absolutely slaughtering this course and staying out front. Now... There is one variable that's coming into play, especially here at 5:54 Central, is that sun is starting to set, and the camera settings are starting to affect, I think, some of our pilots that have it adjusted for that bright daylight that we had earlier today. And now darker views, which can sometimes make it more difficult, or other times when you're shooting for white gates on a green field, could make it a little easier to track down. I'm not sure how this is going to play up. Let's say hello to Shredder watching us on Facebook. What's up, John Zoldak? 8 minutes still to go. And Don't Mess with Texas now on lap number 57. They're faster than what they were in qualifying. They did 56 laps in the 20 minutes allotted, and including the caution time, they are ahead. They are tracking faster than what they did in qualifying. That's some scary stats here. Don't Mess with Texas. 7.5 minutes still to go in the master race clock. Red River FPV now just 7 laps back in second off of our leaders. And then 7 laps back, Torque in third. Then 2 laps back, Team Velocidrone in fourth. And they're not going to quit. They're not going to weaken. Double A is saying Red River FPV is pulling up a little. Yeah, we're starting to notice that. And your leaders just punked it off to our far right. And they will launch a new drone. And that was after a 15.796. That is the fastest lap on the track, our first run in the 15, so Don't Mess with Texas. He tried to do a second 15 and punted it. Tough break for McGap, but not the worst. Not the worst. Just collecting some more laps here. 6 minutes, 20 seconds still to go on the master race clock. And Red River still keeping Don't Mess with Texas within 7. Yeah, technology in play. The real pit from Tiny Leads and Tiny Sleds. Everything good, buddy? Do what? Okay. I got you. 24 minutes in. Just under 6 minutes left on the clock. 5 minutes, 40 seconds. Don't Mess with Texas now on to lap number 65. Red River FPV on to 56. Now 57. That is still that 7-lap deficit as they come in. Big pit stop here for Red River FPV. Oh no, went to take off. And caution called. Caution called. And ouch. Caution called right before Torque crossed over. Let's bring it in, guys. Bring it in. Caution. So that caution was timed perfectly. That cost Torque, who's running third. Team Velocidrone, bring it in. This one doesn't help you. People on the course. And now we're down. Now we can retrieve, and the 2 minutes officially starts at 3:30 on caution clock. So interesting how they sent a representative over, and they were waiting the queue to call the caution. The caution, when the caution calls, 2 minutes starts to allow everyone to retrieve quads. Every team's allowed one caution, but not only does that happen, as soon as the caution is called, the lap count stops, and that now puts Don't Mess with Texas 9 laps up when the caution was called. Yeah, can't call their caution. Now Red River FPV, looking at my screen, had just gotten on to lap number 57. That's that. They were a 7-lap deficit. Then they just gotten onto that 8th lap. The caution was called. Didn't really come into play with them. Where that caution really hurt was it came about a 1.5 seconds before Torque crossed the line. Now we do have. Now this is where it's really interesting. I'm not sure how this plays out. I wish we could see the race screen. That's for another day. Can we do that? Let me see if we can do it. Stand by. If you're watching our live stream, as we're under this caution here, talk amongst yourselves. Let's see if we can do this real quick. I should be able to pull up. There's a quick way I can pull up the race screen. If I go right now to this, pause that. Oh, look at this. Boom. Open up this one. My computer. There you go. There we go. There is where the... Wow, Adrian, we make a great team, you and I, don't we? Looking at that lap count, so Don't Mess With Texas called it as they had just finished lap number 65 and went to come in. Red River FPV was on 57 early in the throws. They get the flag. Torque was about to cross onto 49 a second and a half before it was called bang caution, so that lap didn't count. That locked them on lap 48, but look right below them. Team Velocidrone, they were on 48. That caution cost Torque the one lap, but that now really opens up that battle for the 3-4 for podium. It also, again, with Red River, because they were on that lap, that 8 lap, now it is a 9 lap lead for Don't Mess With Texas. Strategy under play. 9 laps with 5 minutes 21 seconds still to go on the master race clock. That is some fancy live streaming work right there, yeah. Officially, 5 minutes 21 seconds still to go. Pilots are starting to power up. Caution is complete. And so now, one thing we know for certain is that 3rd and 4th is no guarantees. 5 minutes 20 seconds left on the clock. There is only 2 cautions remaining. Torque has a caution, and Red River FPV has a caution. I don't have video yet from Don't Mess With Texas, and I don't have video yet with Torque. And full video. Velocidrone, we're not sure what we're looking at on your quad. We're going to launch this in 25 seconds. 24, 23, 22, 20 seconds. Velocidrone, what's going on with your quad? Bring up the 4-way. 15 seconds. Not sure what we're looking at on Velocidrone in that bottom right-hand corner. Velocidrone, you're ready, right? 15 seconds. All right, pilots, goggles down, thumbs up. Standby. They had 2 quads powered up. Now we're good. All right, pilots, rearm your quads. Live on my go in less than 5. Go! That caution, we held it for a whole bunch of time there for Team Velocidrone, and now it looks like you're clear to go. Your video looks great now, Velocidrone. I think they had too many quads powered up. And now I'm going to try and rearm and go. Tried to do our best. Really wanted to see that battle for the 3-4 continue. And we're now 25 minutes in. 5 minutes still to go on that master race clock. Shredder asking a question here in our chat. How many laps are you guys doing? We are going 30 minutes. We're going for another 4 minutes, 43 seconds. It won't be 100 laps, but I think it might be, it might be 75 at the pace that we are on, and continuing to watch that sunset off in the distance. Crux FPV enjoying the live stream here tonight. We say hello to Sean Dolan as well up in Wisconsin. Big oily guy saying, what's up? Wonder where he is. Big oily guy. Maybe someone else watching us from Texas. Speaking of Texas, your leaders are now down and lots of static on their screen. Going to launch a new drone, and now as I look away and I look back, Red River FPV is now 6 laps behind our leaders. We still have... Oh, no, our leaders just crashed out again. Don't Mess With Texas just crashed out again. They just launched a new drone, and it crashed out. Red River FPV just went on to lap number 62. Now 4 laps separating When we come out of caution, they had a 9-lap lead. Now it is a 4-lap lead. Maybe a 5. Don't Mess with Texas back up. See if where it'll sit. 3.5 minutes still to go. Now watching Torque and Velocidrone. Velocidrone is now on the same lap as Torque. That battle for the 3-4. Let's pick them up. Team Velocidrone is working their way to the back corner with the green LEDs. That is 4th, chasing Team Torque, which is the green with the orange prop that just went to the right. They're separated by 17 seconds, but that is just under now 11 seconds, or half a lap apart for a battle for the 3-4 with just under 3 minutes still to go here on the Master Race Clock. Don't Mess with Texas on to lap number 68. Red River FPV on to lap number 64. That's a difference of 4 between first and second. Torque goes on to lap number 54. Torque again with the 3 different prop colors, and Team Velocidrone with the big green LED on the backside. Looks like they're trading places right now with Don't Mess with Texas for track position. They're separated by about 15 laps, so they're not racing with each other. But Team Velocidrone trying to get by Torque here in the next 2 minutes, 15 seconds. They want a piece of the podium. Torque going to try and stay ahead. And Torque just came in for a pit. They've had a lot of issues in the pits. Let's see what happens here. They take off with a good pit stop. Now Velocidrone on the same lap coming in for a pit. I think this is going to be their last pilots here. 2 minutes to go, pilots, 2 minutes. And Team Velocidrone with a pit problem, trying to get another quad launched. And now you know Torque is breathing very easily right now. Watching Velocidrone line up on that Pyrodrone gate coming out of the pits. And now going to have to find pretty much an entire lap here in the last 95 seconds if Team Velocidrone is going to get a piece of that podium here at the Battle of the Fairgrounds 2018 Greater Baton Rouge State Fair Team Drone Race. An exciting end here to a sunny afternoon, now a twilight evening, as we get ready to wave and shine that spotlight on the top of our podium tonight. Ooh, little ringer dinger. And wow, everyone feeling a little frisky here in the final throws. Everyone's still flying though. 4 still in the sky. Red River FPV in second. They're the ones getting loosey-goosey. 60 seconds left on the clock. 60 seconds still to go. And when you're looking at 20-second lap times, I'll do the math for you. That's like 2, maybe 3 laps. And this one is in the books. Team Velocidrone now on to lap 57. 1 lap back off of Torque. 40 seconds still to go. They could catch them, but it's kind of do or die. Red River FPV, they are down, destroying quads, and I mean, it's pretty much decided that they are going to be your reserve champions. No one can help them. No one can hinder them. 25 seconds still to go on the Master Race Clock. We don't use flags here because it's unsafe, but now we're getting ready to wave a white flag for Don't Mess with Texas. And we're getting ready to wave the checker. Don't Mess with Texas with a pit stop in the final 30 seconds of the team race to the Battle of the Fairgrounds. Red River FPV gets on to lap 69. They met the white flag, getting ready to meet the checkered. And now it's a checkered flag at our red stick start-finish gate. 75 laps in the 30 minutes. Don't Mess with Texas are your champions. Still waving that flag. Team Velocidrone finishing up 4th. Torque are your second runners-up, 3rd on our podium, and with a total of 69, Red River FPV are your reserve champions. Total, top to bottom, once again, 57 laps for Team Velocidrone in 4th. Up 7 laps to Torque, finishing in the number 3 spot with 60 laps. Your reserve champion, 9 laps ahead of them with a total of 69, Red River FPV. And your champions of the Battle at the Fairgrounds, Don't Mess with Texas, 75 championship points. Yeah, buddy. We will bring them down, cameras rolling, and get ready for high fives and presentations to your top 3 here. All right, let's bring it in. We will bring it in. And get ready for presentation.
I would love to have it back, but I'm not going to hurt myself or get some nasty infection. Yeah, exactly.
And of course, under quad retrieval, this is the best part. When you get your quad back, you get your drone back. If I could have the team captains from Torque, Red River, and Don't Mess with Texas over to see me. And now we're finding bonus drones. Bonus drones. Yeah, all of them. So,
What's happening? It's just don't mess with it.
So thanks to everyone checking out our live stream, also checking out live drone racing here at the 2018 Greater Baton Rouge State Fair. Tomorrow, we're going to do some individual racing. We are going to have an outstanding afternoon tomorrow. We're really excited about that. And congratulations to our top 3 teams. They are getting their checks cut right now from our host, Fred Burkett, representing the Greater Baton Rouge State Fair. We'll be making those check presentations a little bit later on. And congratulations, of course, to Torque, your second runners-up, third on our podium. The team earns $150. There's the official plane ticket with the results. There is Mr. Burkett as well helping us out. Our host, bringing drone racing. Really excited to bring drone racing, a big part of this event. $150. Congratulations to Torque. Your reserve champions, Red River FPV, $350 to the good. And what a great day at drone racing for our guys from Texas, $500 richer. A great day of drone racing. Thanks, everyone, for checking it out. Congratulations at Don't Mess with Texas. We're back tomorrow, individual racing for prizes and surprises as well. Thanks for checking it out. Drone racing, day 1 of 2 at the Greater Baton Rouge State Fair. Have a great night, and we'll see you tomorrow.